Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Anna.
And Tanya.
We're the Paradise Patriots.
Aloha.
What's on your mind today, Toss?
Well, I want to say mahalo to Tulsi Gabbard, who came out and spoke out against the $460 billion arms deal with the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yes. Was it that much?
$460 billion.
Oh, it was 100 billion?
110 immediately and $350 billion over the next 10 years.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. A country with
Just
probably the worst humanitarian.
Just in case they don't have enough.
Just in case they don't have enough money.
Or enough weapons.
Oh my God. Yeah. Insane. Yeah, enough weapons.
Where's the incongruency? I mean, where do you start? We have a couple of days to explain it all. But anyway, what did she say? Tell us what Tulsi said.
She condemned the whole thing, basically, why are we giving money to a country with a devastating record of human rights violations at home and abroad, and a long history of providing support to terrorist organizations that threaten the American people. I mean, and she goes on to be more specific, but I mean, and then she does point out also the hypocrisy in the Trump administration, which began with the appointment of Mike Pompeo, the CEO director, presenting the Saudi crown prince with the George Tenet Award in recognition of Prince bin Nayef's excellent intelligence performance. Yeah, blah, blah.
The humanitarian award? That's what that was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, so insane. It's like, and Trump was totally, remember everything he was tweeting over a year ago?
They're the ones that were responsible for 9/11 and...
Yeah, he called them out for 9/11. He called them out. But, send $100 million to my daughter. Bribe me with some money. Now, right. And I'll change my tune. Yeah. I'll play different music. I'll put on a new song.
Well, he did dance with the sword.
He did. He was loving himself.
He was.
In all of those videos.
Wasn't that the most outrageous display of mine is better than yours you've ever seen? I mean, did you watch any of the the events, any of the rollout of how that all came about? His arrival.
Oh, the arrival.
The red carpet, and it was really.
It was like, you don't know what money is, dude.
Exactly. And at first it, in some ways, it's mesmerizing in some ways when I was watching it. And then I realized that it was really a show of power, wealth, and force of who they were. And that they are players on the grand stage now.
They're like, you're not even on our level.
Right.
Trump. You're a chump compared to us. Look at what we got.
Yeah.
I mean,
everything was over the top.
Palace was palatial.
Yeah. It was, everything was over the top.
Over the top.
I know.
I mean, I look at that and I immediately think of the people, I think of the homeless people in Hilo that I drove past, to come see you today. I think of the starving children in the world. I think of the women that are being trafficked.
Right.
And I just think, what the heck? Why is this world still revolving around money?
And it was interesting that in a sense, it was when you compare when dignitaries visit the United States, there was no comparison at all to what that looked like. Well, it was
insane.
It got to the point. I didn't watch a lot of it, but it felt obscene, and then I had to turn it off.
Yes, it's only so much you can watch when you realize just the imbalance of everything in the world like that. Just people, I mean, really, the Saudis were like, we're all that. They don't have the facial expressions, but...
Well, they didn't have to. Right. And then they laid that, I wonder how much that piece of jewelry was that he got. And then...
he was eating it up.
I know.
Eating it up.
Well, that's his style.
He was probably texting Hillary.
Yeah, and that's his style. So it's interesting. The thing that I thought was very interesting, because Saudi Arabia has always been a country, I mean, from the time I was small, that you wondered about and you read about it in books, but they were never a player like they were much more mysterious. They were much more mysterious. So how did they just arrive on the scene the way they have in this last maybe
Well, what did you
2
find?
years.
Because I found some stuff.
So
too.
I thought this was really interesting, and it ties a lot of things together. So Trump goes over there, he signs this great big arms deal. It's a bigger deal than any other president has ever done. It outdid Obama's 100,000 or
Well, his
100
penis is bigger.
million. So of course he has to outdo it. But so then I just came across this. So this trip to Saudi Arabia that President Trump took is an opportunity to spotlight the country's poor record on human rights. Well, so Saudi Arabia is trying to get away from that image. So instead of actually doing something about the human rights,
Well,
they hired 28 lobbying firms and consulting firms to represent their interests in the United States. So, according to the Department of Justice,
Shocking.
I know, foreign agents registration, I'm not going to read through all of that,
when
but
shit
anyway,
hits the fan, hire a PR man.
well, and guess who they hired?
Let me guess. Does he have anything to do with the Clinton campaign?
Yeah, the Podesta group.
The Podesta group.
Okay, so now there's,
Oh my God!
come
All
on.
these people are in bed
it's
together.
you want to
It's
talk,
disgusting.
exactly, right?
One big orgy.
Uh-huh.
Sick.
So, the Podesta group has a contract, $140,000 a month to perform public relations services on behalf of the center through December of 2017.
Wow, $140,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a couple commercials.
Now that's only one of the 28 lobbying firms that were hired.
Right. Well, I want
go
to give
ahead.
those numbers because I found this is an article on theintercept.com, and it says since 2015 the kingdom has expanded the number of foreign agents on retainer from 25 registered agents in the previous 2-year period to 145 individuals in 2015. So the lobbyists have just infiltrated over here. And,
Right.
or maybe they're not all lobbyists. Some of them are PR people. They're all the same thing.
Right. And so my article was from the Washington Examiner. So, and then it goes on to another major lobbying firm that is working on behalf of Saudi Arabia is BGR Government Affairs. So they have a contract, and they're part of the BGR group, who was founded by a former Mississippi Governor, Haley Barbour, a high-profile Republican.
Oh, wow.
Their annual fee was $500,000. That contract was signed by Ed Rogers, who is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. So Ed Rogers is obviously part of this, also part of this BGR group. And then Squire Patton Boggs also has a contract that went from September 2016 to 2017, legal and strategic policy advice and advocacy on foreign policy for $100,000 a month, all on behalf of this center that is the core of developing an alternative personality for Saudi Arabia,
right, for the country of
so we
Saudi
can be
Arabia.
their new best friends. So the whole front, from getting the humanitarian award to this display that we were witness to, that was pretty much broadcast 24/7. The signing, the arms deal, and all of this is part of the new branding, right? Rebranding Saudi Arabia so they can be our friend now. And then, to top it off, Ivanka gets $100 million. I mean, if you didn't know why she was there, now you know why she was there. So, United Arab Emirates pledges $100 million to fund to this woman's entrepreneurial fund.
It's just totally insane. The whole, just
I
insane.
mean, wait. So if it's the woman's entrepreneurial fund, it'll be like driving lessons for Arab women so that they could get behind the wheel of a car.
I don't know. I
mean, how is that? How does that work when you're one of the?
I mean, a real feminist or someone who really supports women would worry about where the money's coming from. You know what I mean? So I don't know, so whatever she thinks she's going to go do with that money, it's just incongruent, with real values. And not that she has any. I'm just saying, if
Well, you think if you're getting $100 million from,
you would change your tune, yeah.
or you would tell them to probably use that to clean their own act up first.
That's what I would say. I mean, it'd
Yeah.
be like, I don't want your money. Like,
Yeah.
go fix the crap in your own country.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, don't treat women this way. And I don't know. It's just.
So just one extra little spin on this. So Saudi
There's more.
Arabia, well, it's just a little, the way, as I always say, the way I connect the dots. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates will donate a combined $100 million to a World Bank fund,
Red flag.
for women entrepreneurs that was the brainchild of Ivanka Trump. The announcement by World Bank President Kim came during a visit to Saudi Arabia by President Trump, who was accompanied by his wife, daughter, Ivanka, and son-in-law, Jared. So, that was a pretty fruitful trip there.
Yeah, I'd say so.
350, or as you said, combined 450 million in armaments sold and 100 million in a bank fund for entrepreneurs,
Women entrepreneurs.
Of everything, I have to tell you what struck me the most, though.
What?
And I was shocked that this came to me while I was watching all of this roll
I'm
out.
excited to hear. What struck you the most?
When they were sitting there and there was all of the shutters going and he was signing the agreement, he was signing, obviously, a multi-billion-dollar armaments agreement that he's the cutout, the errand boy for the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm. He is.
So whoever, however we thought
He
our
is.
president was doing our business or doing the business of the country, he's actually doing the business of Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and whoever. He was their errand boy.
Yeah, he's just the front man.
That was
I mean,
when
it's
when I was watching that, it hit me like, oh my God.
I mean, when you
Nobody in America would want that. Nobody wants an armaments deal with. Nobody wants it that I would know of. And where is the Democratic Party on it?
I found one other person besides Tulsi. I found another Democrat.
Did any other Democrat mention it?
Maybe that, and it's just not
we don't know.
that high enough on Google for it to come onto my, search.
I think they would have been front and center on that one and
You would think.
had their media Mongols out.
You would think. Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, did slam the deal.
One? Oh, and Tulsi.
Tulsi. And
Two.
he wrote a Huffington Post op-ed.
Oh, awesome. Let's hear
criticizing
about
the
it.
deal. He said the arms sales a terrible idea. He's a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He said the kingdom has repeatedly used U.S. provided weapons against civilians in the region, citing attacks on Yemen during its civil war. And he even said that Obama specifically withheld precision-guided munitions because the Saudis were using U.S.-provided munitions to repeatedly target civilians and humanitarian sites in their bombing campaign in Yemen. So, despite our protests. So, now we're selling the Saudis precision-guided weapons more, I mean, it's just... It's disgusting. But I'm glad that another Democrat came out. But, it's sad to see that some, where's Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi?
Dianne Feinstein.
Where are all these, people?
Cory Booker.
Yeah, where's these
all the
guys should all...
Where's...
I thought they were the resistance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, where's Hillary, the resistor?
Because a lot of this deal was negotiated previously. So maybe the details weren't figured out and all that, But, I mean, it is. The President of the United States is clearly working on behalf of multinational conglomerates who want war.
So we have two Democrats that came out
and
against
Rand Paul,
it.
probably.
And Rand Paul came out against it.
Okay,
So,
good.
right, we're seeing
Yeah,
that...
3 out of like 600.
Well, we're seeing the common ground now outside of Democrats and Republicans where it's just freaking common sense. Even we would know better than that. So he had an interesting thing to say.
Tell us what Rand Paul
So he said he let President Trump know he is not a fan of the recent arms deal with Saudi Arabia, and he worried that it would drag the U.S. into Yemen's civil war. With its ties to Islamic fundamentalists, Saudi Arabia is not to be trusted, Rand Paul said. He introduced a joint resolution of disapproval Wednesday to block the deal, setting up a vote for June. So he's going to try to do something. And his statement Selling military weapons to questionable allies is not in our national security interest.
Well, there's a common sense statement.
At some point, the United States must stop and realize that we are fueling an arms race in the Middle East. In the next few weeks, I, along with a bipartisan group of senators, oh, that's interesting, will force a vote disapproving of this arms sales to Saudi Arabia. And let's hope the Senate will have the sense to stop this travesty. Mai ka'iloa.
Yes.
Mai ka'iloa.
Seriously, thank you.
Rand.
I mean, I guess the really sad part, though, is it also just goes, it just proves also that Trump really has no ideology except that of to the money gods.
The deal. The art of the deal.
Art of the steal, whatever you want to call it.
And bigger and better than the guy before you or anyone else has ever done.
I mean, he totally came out against Saudi Arabia, you know, when he was campaigning. I mean, he did not mince words.
I know.
And so it's really sad to see how quickly someone could turn around. I'm not going to say that that's just a failing of his, because I would guess that many people in that situation might have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. You have to really know who you are and be stuck on your principles, you know, to really stand up to something like that. So, I mean, there's obviously machine behind all of this.
Right. Well, yes, that's, you know, obviously we know that when we saw our president, who's supposed to be working for the national interest, forget that and make the deal, right?
Make the deal.
Make the deal.
Make the deal.
No, really, making the deal for both sides. Really.
We're on playing both sides of everything. I mean, Trump talks out of both sides of his mouth. We play both sides. You know, we feed the arms to the groups that we're trying to have
get rid of it. And I know, that's what I said. They're working both sides of it.
Seriously.
Well, that's as old as time. That game.
It's gotta stop, people.
Yeah, it does.
It's gotta stop.
Anyway,
so
thank you, Rand Paul. Thank you, Tulsi.
Thank you. Who was the other Democrat? My computer just died.
Oh.
So.
And the bipartisan group that plans to sign on and co-sponsor this resolution. So we'll keep posted on this one.
We definitely will. Thank you for listening.
You.
I'm Tanya.
And I'm Anna.
We're the Paradise Patriots.
Aloha.